All right. Hello. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. Today, I wanted to make a quick video, just an intro video. I'll probably make a follow-up one, but wanted to just make a quick video on the importance of looking for or doing research on a market, like choosing a market. What are the things that you do? What can you do quickly or just to start beginning your process? So it's really important that you do that, that you look up the market before you start investing in real estate in that specific area. You have to kind of know what you're aiming for, like if you're going to be doing a long-term strategy, short-term strategy, mid-term strategy, just because that will depend on what numbers you're looking for. So for example, if I'm looking to do a short-term rental, I would probably be looking at choosing a market that's more populated, not in the middle of nowhere. I mean, sometimes that works, but lots of people, they go vacation to an area that, has things to do around the area, right? But if I'm doing a long-term strategy, I'm more looking at job industry, major employers in the area. I'm looking for population growth in that area, not people moving away from that area. So there's a lot of different things that may affect your overall performance of your investment. So you definitely want to do your market research, have an idea of what strategy you're going for, and then go from there. So some of the things that I do in the beginning is really just going to websites and just doing a real overall high overview search of what I'm looking for. So for example, when I did my long-term rentals that I purchased a couple years ago, I looked at, I started a few months before I selected that area, and I was looking at what is the population growth, and I was making sure that it was going always up and trending up. Anytime that I saw an area that was trending down in population over the last 5 years, or even over the last 2-3 years, I would move away from that. So you want to make sure that you are looking at long-term growth, or at least sustainability, that it's not going down. People are not just moving away. Another thing that I looked at was just economy, right? What is the medium household income? And you want to make sure that you're targeting an area that whatever property you're going for, that the people that you're covering the money that you're putting in, right? So let's say if your mortgage is a certain amount, and you want to make sure you cover that and then some, you want to make sure that you are targeting a population that can afford the rent that you'd like to get for your property, if that makes sense, right? So the general rule of thumb is it's a third, right? So if you have someone who wants to pay, $1,000 for rent, you want to make sure that they make at least, that they're comfortable paying that it's only a third of their overall gross income. So they should be making at least $3,000 a month, give or take, so that they can afford your $1,000 rent, if that makes sense. So that's something to consider. I also looked at, besides job growth, population growth, I look for diversity of jobs. You don't want to go into an industry or into a location that has only one industry. So like just one Amazon warehouse, even though Amazon is not a good example because Amazon is amazing, obviously we all know that, but like if you are just going to a one specific area that has like one factory, what happens if that factory gets closed down? Then all of your the the income that's coming in for your renters is gone. So you want to make sure that you have a diversity of jobs, that there's healthcare work, there's technology, there's many different things that people can get their income from. Along with that, you want to make sure that the location is safe, right? So I'm always looking at, if you're buying a property long distance or remote that you've never visited before, I have done that. I use different websites. There's one called Spot Crime, and it kind of gives you an area. If you put in a zip code, it gives you a general area. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt. You really should be having what they call boots on the ground, or people in that area that either or that you can hire. You should be, building a team wherever you choose to invest, and that they can go and vet the area, walk the neighborhood, morning and evening time. But at least there's different websites that you can look at where it allows you to get a general area or a general understanding of the area. If there's a lot of crime, you'll see, the rates go up, etc. The types of crimes, etc. that are in that area. So you want to try to stay clear if it's like a really, really bad area. Depending on your level of comfort and just your risk tolerance, some people don't mind buying properties in areas that are a little bit sketchy, but you definitely want to stay clear of any potential liability for yourself in the future. And additionally, I also look at upcoming development. So like if there's any future building that's currently being built, that potentially is a good thing, right? It can increase the value of your property. And you also want to look at, are you looking to be in a main market? Sometimes getting into like a main market area, like right in the city or right in the middle of the action, quote unquote, that might be more pricey to get into. Of course, it depends what strategy you're purchasing the property with. If you're buying on market, it's gonna cost you a lot to buy on market properties in a primary market. If you are trying to get out of that primary market to be more in an affordable area for yourself, you can go into a secondary market or tertiary market, they call it. And that's right where you're right in the border of that primary market, where it's within driving distance. So like, 20-30 minute drive to your job, is not a big deal. So some people like to invest in those areas because they tend to be slightly cheaper than being right in the middle of the main market. If you're buying creative, right? Like if you're buying a seller finance deal or something like that, sometimes those factors don't even apply, right? There's people in need that need sometimes to just move on to another property, and you can find those anywhere. You have to come across the right opportunity. So those are some of the things that I look at. I also, one last thing I do look at is just taxes in general. I tend to look for areas that the taxes are not astronomical, right? Because that does affect your overall pocket at the end of the year. You want to try to, select a place that is, it depends obviously, but the markets that I have invested in are not, they're not like $20,000 for like a 1-bedroom house, right? In New York, and California, different areas like that, you'll find that the taxes are astronomical. But, the good thing about that is that, you have a lot of appreciation in markets that are such as New York and California. But there's other things like landlord friendly states and things like that. And knowing your tenant landlord laws, that's also something that you have to look into. So definitely know your laws if you're looking into doing a long-term rental strategy. And obviously the in-between, the midterm rentals, co-living spaces, like all of that, all of those strategies are a little bit different, but it's always good to know the laws in that area as well. So definitely do your research, as well as if you're doing short-term rentals, you want to make sure that you are well versed in what that area has to say about short-term rentals. You want to try to, if you're selecting a short-term rental market, that they've already passed the laws that have to do with short-term rentals. If they haven't passed any laws and they're just kind of in the beginning stages of it, it might be a little bit risky because you don't know what the laws may turn into, and you don't want to make a big investment when you are not 100% sure of where the laws are going to land. So those are just some of my insights. I said I was going to keep it short, so I will leave it at that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will link 2 or 3 websites that I've used in the past to help me research the market. So thank you so much, and I hope that this video was helpful.